It's Friday, y'all. What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to What If Future Vegeta Survived Part 4. Now, I know by the thumbnail and by last part, you're probably confused. Aren't we going into the Vegeta Black arc? Well, I'm going to explain that real quickly because Zamasu in this story is going to be, not as fortunate as the one in canon. Anywho, let's continue the story. Before the group leaves the Tournament of Destroyers, they would have an encounter with Zeno, with him suggesting a new tournament that would involve all of the universes, with Vegeta loving the idea, and him and Tarbo would befriend Zeno. After that, they would head back to Earth. Meanwhile, in Universe 10, Zamasu watches how Vegeta would be making a mockery of the gods, and he would advise a plan. One day, on Beerus' planet, Vegeta's body changes into Zamasu's, with Vegeta getting very confused. Beerus and Whis would recognize this of a Kai. Beerus would then tell Whis that they should investigate, but as they prepare to leave, Beerus starts to disappear. Vegeta would then become very confused until he would see himself right in front of him. Tarbo would then protect his brother from this imposter. Vegeta Black would then charge in at Tarbo, with Tarbo being pushed back. Tarbo would be pushed back as Vegeta Black would continue to face Tarbo. Tarbo would power up into his Super Saiyan 2, as he wouldn't want to hurt his brother's body. Vegeta would soon enough call Bulma, and she would tell Gohan and the others to gather the Dragon Balls. Gohan and the others find the Dragon Balls, and soon enough, wish for Vegeta to regain his body. As Vegeta Black would be close to destroying Tarbo, he turns back into his old body, and becomes very confused, but that confusion is turned to fear, as he gets a punch straight through his gut by Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta. Vegeta wouldn't wait a second to kill this imposter, as he wouldn't let Zamasu stay alive for taking his body. Soon enough, the Angel of Universe 10 apologizes and thanks for their help as the God of Destruction and Kais were brought back to life. She also heals Tarbo in gratitude. Vegeta tells the Angel to get things straight in their universe in anger. Yeah, that's why Zamasu is not in the thumbnail. Now we can move on to the Tournament of Power arc. Vegeta would then continue to train with Tarbo until one day, he just stops, and Beerus and Whis get suspicious of this. One day they make a trip to Earth, and they see that Vegeta and Bulma are taking care of Paita. Vegeta would notice that Whis and Beerus would be there, and they would request that he'd like to train, but he puts it down as he needs to help out with Bulma. Bulma would be surprised, or Beerus would be surprised, but before they would leave, they get a message from the Grand Priest announcing the Tournament of Power. Whis would then tell Vegeta about the tournament and how there would be an Zen exhibition match, and Vegeta is ready to decline, but Bulma tells him that Father Time could take a break. Vegeta would go to get Gohan and Tarbo until he's stopped by Trunks. Trunks declares to his father that he deserves to fight and prove himself, with this making Vegeta smirk as he accepts. Vegeta would notice how his son has come a long way with his training, as he is noticeably stronger. He takes Trunks and Tarbo to the exhibition. When they arrive, the Grand Priest would explain how the tournament would go and how universes would be destroyed in the process. The first round would be Tarbo against Basil, and Tarbo would win against Basil after he would use the drug. Trunks would then go up next, as he would show off his training and show off his Super Saiyan 2. Trunks would begin to pummel Lavender until Lavender would use his poison. Trunks would be shocked by the poison technique, and Trunks would begin to struggle as Lavender would keep firing poison at him. Trunks would push through the poison and show off his true power and powering up into a Super Saiyan 3, and this would eliminate Lavender. Vegeta would be impressed, as well as proud of his son for pushing past his limits. Vegeta would then jump in and face off against Bergamo. Vegeta would power up from Super Saiyan and then to Super Saiyan God, as Bergamo would continue to expand. The gods would be surprised to see a mortal using God Ki, and watch as Vegeta would demolish Bergamo. Vegeta would soon enough stop playing around with Bergamo and would show off Super Saiyan Blue, and he would eliminate Bergamo with a final flash. Toppo would then challenge Vegeta, and Vegeta would of course take up Toppo's challenge. Vegeta would have a bit of a tough time and a tough battle until he would show off his Super Saiyan Blue to Toppo. The Grand Priest would soon enough end the battle before things would become too extreme, with the universes going to recruit fighters. Vegeta would tell Gohan straight up about the tournament, and they would recruit fighters. Gohan would get Piccolo, Kami, Videl, Krillin, and Tien. They would see that they need one more fighter, and Vegeta would get an idea. Vegeta would then ask Kami to bring him to the afterlife, and the two would go. Soon enough, the two would go to King Kai's planet and would ask for Goku, but Goku would actually be training in the realm of the Kais. King Kai would call down for Goku, and Goku would appear in front of the two, but he would seem different. He had red fur, and his eyes would be yellow. Goku is a Super Saiyan 4. Goku explains that during his time in the afterlife, after Buu, he would begin to train with the Kais, and Elder Kai would have helped Goku achieve Super Saiyan 4, like in GT, by pulling his tail out once again. Elder Kai would ask Goku during his training if he would like to unleash his hidden potential, but Goku would deny it, since he wouldn't have to train to get the power. In Goku's eyes, Super Saiyan 4 was the better route. Goku would then make power moons and would train his Grade 8 form until one day he would come across the Golden Grade 8, which would result into the Super Saiyan 4 transformation. After witnessing the form, Goku would train relentlessly to master the form. Vegeta becomes excited to see his rival has not slacked off a bit, and they begin to battle. Vegeta powers up into Super Saiyan God and begins to face Goku, and Vegeta gets surprised to see that Goku would be able to keep up the entire time. Vegeta would then show off Super Saiyan Blue, which would surprise Goku, but at the same time, impress him. Goku would then power up, adding even higher levels, with Vegeta being very confused until Goku would reveal that during his training after mastering Super Saiyan 4 form, he would try to keep Super Saiyan 4 as a base, so as they battle, Goku doesn't lose much stamina as he powers up. Vegeta and Goku would continue to clash until Vegeta would power up into Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, and this would make Goku begin to struggle. As they go in for one more clash, Kami yells for the two to stop, as they have to return to Earth soon for the tournament. After getting approval from Bala, they would bring Goku to Earth, and they would have a reunion buffet mainly suggested by Beerus. Goku would train with Gohan, and Vegeta would take Trunks into the gravity chamber in the meantime. After everyone would train a bit, and stuff their bellies to the max, they would all head to the tournament, but before they would leave, Elder Kai would give his earrings to Goku for just in case. When they'd arrive, Goku would befriend Zeno, with Beerus almost pissing himself with Goku's rudeness. Kaba would meet back up with Vegeta and Tarble and would explain that he has been training he's been training with his new friends, Kale and Caulifla. After the tournament of destroyers, Kaba would have sought further training from his master Renso, but due to his injury, Kaba would have gone to train with Kale and Caulifla, and due to the prodigies they are, I believe that Kaba and Caulifla would have gone past Super Saiyan 2. This also means that Kale would have unlocked her controlled legendary Super Saiyan form, but only the first one, as Kale never needed to go higher than she already was. Vegeta and Goku would be surprised with this group, as they are very strong, and Goku would be bummed to know that he missed the tournament. The Universe 7 team would go as such: Vegeta, Trunks, Tarble, Goku, Gohan, Videl, Kami, Piccolo, Krillin, and Tien. Vegeta would be the strongest, but Gohan would be made the team captain of Universe 7, and Gohan would come up with the plan of staying together, with only Kami, Piccolo, Videl, Trunks, Krillin, and Tien listening. The tournament would begin, with Goku and Vegeta instantly leaving the group. Vegeta at one point would be surrounded by Universe 9's fighters, and would become overwhelmed until Goku would jump in. With Goku's aid, the two Saiyan rivals are able to take out all of Universe 9. Goku would then get approached by Caulifla and Kale, with Caulifla challenging him. The two would fight together, but Goku would still treat it as a training session. Kale and Caulifla would begin to get riled up, as their teamwork wouldn't be enough, so Caulifla would power up into her Super Saiyan 3. Goku would then stack his Super Saiyan 2 with his Kaioken and would show Caulifla the flaws of an unmastered form. Kale would try to help, but soon enough, Goku would have the two at the edge. Goku would then fire an attack to defeat the two, But before they get eliminated, the fusion Kefla jumps to the stage, surprising Goku. Kefla would begin to give Goku a hard time until Topo and the Pride Troopers would jump in. Goku and Caulifla would temporarily team up and would take out the 6 Pride Troopers with a combined attack. The fusion then would have left to rest, as Goku would continue his battles. Ribrianne would then fire off her love attack, and Trunks would then challenge Ribrianne, and he would begin to overpower her until Kakunsa would jump in. Kami would then jump in to help his student and would fight off Kakunsa. Tarble would be up against Rosie, and after he would power up into Super Saiyan, Rosie would be eliminated. Ribrianne and Kakunsa would be pissed from this and would unleash their rage on Trunks and Kami, which would result in Kami being eliminated. Trunks would see that he is by himself and would risk it all by transforming into Super Saiyan 3. Thanks to his bargain, he would eliminate the 2 of the love fighters. Trunks would fall to his knees, and then he would hear a voice asking if he's the prince's son. Trunks would get up quickly and would see that Frost has a sinister smile around his face. Trunks would get blasted through his arm from Frost, and Trunks would shout, "That's not what good guys do." Frost would then come clean and would say that in the past tournament, Vegeta humiliated him, so now he will have his revenge, and the best revenge is taking out his pitiful son. Trunks gets up and powers up into Super Saiyan, while Frost shows off his 100% form. The two go at it, with Trunks having a difficult battle, as he's nearly drained of his energy because of the Super Saiyan 3. Frost would then reveal to Trunks that so he would never be humiliated again, he would train so no one would be able to face him, and Trunks' face drops as he watches Frost transform into a 5th form. Frost would then grab onto Trunks' face and begin to drag him through the ground of the arena, and would begin to release his anger out on Trunks. Gohan and Videl would feel this, and the two would head over to see Vegeta watching. Gohan would ask why Vegeta isn't doing anything, and Vegeta replies saying that he sensed that his son wants to finish his fight independently, so he won't jump in. Goku would also instant transmission in, and ask Vegeta if he should heal Trunks, with Vegeta just telling them all to shut up and watch. Trunks would then continue to get beaten, with even Champa looking in disgust, as Frost is mercilessly beating the boy. Frost would then grab onto Trunks, getting ready to throw him out of the ring, but before he would eliminate Trunks, he would promise Trunks that his father and his whole team would experience the same result as he did. With this, Trunks powers back up into his Super Saiyan 3 out of rage and begins to beat Frost, and soon enough, Trunks would eliminate Frost with a final flash. Frost would be pissed and would try to jump back in, but he would be erased. Goku would then go down to Trunks, congratulating him for beating Frost all by himself, and would heal Trunks. Soon enough, Belmont would tell Jiren to target Vegeta, and Vegeta would notice and jump into the fight. Jiren's pressure would surprise everyone, including Kefla, and Vegeta and Jiren would begin to battle, with Vegeta being beaten pretty bad until he would power up into Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. Vegeta would be startled by Jiren's attacks until soon enough he countered Jiren, surprising everyone, and Vegeta would then go on the offense. Jiren would put in a bit of more power, but nothing close to his full power, and would begin to get the upper hand on Vegeta. Goku would jump down, but Vegeta would stop him as he wants to take Jiren out alone. So with all of Vegeta's strength, he fires his largest final flash, which takes Jiren by surprise. Jiren would hold back the blast, and in return would fire his own blast against the final flash. Vegeta would try his hardest, but soon enough, Jiren's power would overtake him. All of the fighters would then see a gigantic crater from where Vegeta was supposed to be, with Vegeta thinking he accidentally killed Vegeta, until the world of the void is surrounded by a white light, and a figure rising up from it. Goku and the others would be astonished to see Vegeta, but confused, as Vegeta would seem different. His eyes were glowing a silver color, and his body releasing a certain heat. Out of nowhere, Vegeta would attack Jiren at high speeds, which would make Jiren stumble. Vegeta and Jiren would have an intense battle, with Vegeta getting the upper hand until his Ultra Instinct would run out, with Goku rescuing Vegeta and healing him. Goku would then go to take on Jiren, but would then see that two figures would approach him, Hit and Kefla. Kefla would power up into her Super Saiyan, with her telling Hit not to get in the way, as Hit would tell her the same. Toppo and Dispo would then defend Jiren. Vegeta and Goku would watch, and the Namekians from Universe 6 would attempt to attack them until Gohan and Videl would defend the two. Gohan would power up into Super Saiyan, and the two would face the two Namekians. Kefla would go to attack Jiren, but Dispo would stop her and kick her away. Toppo would then take on Kefla, with Kefla telling him to get out of her way. Hit would begin to struggle, as Dispo and Kunshi's tag team would be hard to get out of until he tells Kefla to switch with him. Kefla then would easily take out Kunshi, and Dispo would go into his light speed mode, which would push Kefla back until she would unleash her lethal attack she used against UI Goku, and this would badly damage Dispo, so Toppo would stop this battle with Hit and would get Dispo to retreat with Jiren. Kefla gets pissed by this, and now the second half of the Tournament of Power has begun. And with that, we're going to end off this little Tournament of Power part right here. Now the video wasn't that long, but it was definitely longer than my average videos, so if you made it all the way to this point, thank you so much, and I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're excited for the next Tournament of Power part. Now with the Tournament of Power, honestly, that's one of the things I love from Dragon Ball Super, like absolutely love, but it's very long and very detailed, so I tried to take the Tournament of Power into consideration when it comes to that, because the Tournament of Power takes a while to start with recruitment, so I definitely wanted to add that. And once it does start, there's a lot of plot holes in it, with the Universe 6 Saiyans, to the Love Maidens, to soon enough Jiren. There's just a lot, and I really wanted to go in depth with all that. If you didn't like that, I apologize. If you do, thank you. So for the next Vegeta video, do you expect Vegeta to fully control his Ultra Instinct and to possibly master it like Goku did? Will Vegeta, will future Vegeta, have the same problems that canon Vegeta had, which would prevent him to unlock Ultra Instinct? Leave a comment below and let me see what you guys are predicting. And yeah, that's the video for today. Enjoy the meme. Later.
Oh, I'm flash. I just spit a little bit. Oh my fucking god! Dude, why is it that when I flash somebody, it's like I just slapped them in the face with a fucking napkin from a little kid's birthday party? But when I get fucking flashed, it's like some big brolic black dude named fucking Laquise pulled a fucking bedsheet over the head of my head and just proceeds to skull fuck me! I spawn die! Spawn die. Spawn die, spawn die, spawn die, spawn die, spawn die, spawn die!